Hey everyone, here's a day's worth of fish that we got on our bottom fishing trip. And a lot of these fish were caught using our homemade lures and shrimp flies. Some of the fish were made out of lead, and I was testing out these steel ones. I had a piece of scrap plate left over, and I made a quick program to cut them out on the plasma table and just burnt a few out. As you can see on the plate there, I made a few different sizes just to test out different weights and see how they act in the water. To get the slag off, I just grab it with a pair of pliers like that and just pop it off. I will still sand the edges and make it all smooth in the next shot. After the bodies were all cleaned up, ready to go, I made these rings out of some TIG wire, and I'm going to be welding them onto the fish. This was the first time we were using steel lures like this, and I was deciding if I'm going to be putting them on top like that to have a mounting point or on the nose. And I decided to make both and see how it goes. On the bottom is where the hooks go, and I'm going to have two there. First, I get the rings ready by fusing the part where they join together, and that part gets welded onto the fish, and you can see there's already a dab spot where I melted onto the fish. That way there's a good joint going on there. Here's an example of the fish before they get painted. The top one had it welded on the head, and the bottom one had the nose mounting spot. The fish get painted with just some spray paint, Rust-Oleum, cheap stuff. A lot of the fish get tangled on the bottom with the rocks and get torn off. I was trying to mimic one of the fish that we've seen get caught before, and it's this guy. It's called a sea trout, and the lingcod like to grab onto them, and they have these blue spots that are noticeable on the side. So I made this little paper template with some random holes cut into it, and I just put a little bit of that blue paint on it to give it those spots. Here's the marina we were launching out of, and I wasn't there for the whole trip, and my dad and my brothers were already back for the day, so we were ready to get started early in the next morning. Got up super early. The sun was just starting to come out. We had about a half hour ride out to where we were fishing at. The weather was great and the ocean wasn't rough or anything, so had a good time getting out there. And right here, we're about 5 minutes out from getting going. We were just throwing them out there and bottom jigging. Most of these fish are predator fish, and they'll grab onto anything that's down there and smaller than them. Also, here's the other kind of lure that we were using. It's just called a flutter jig, and it's lead. And our setup just had those two shrimp flies on top and the flutter jig on the bottom like that. Although we're bottom jigging, I would like to cast out to the side like that and slowly let it drop, and you could get a bite on the way down. Here's a cool clip my brother sent me before I got there. They pulled up three rockfish at the same time. So the bottom jig, our flutter jig, would have one fish, and then the other two were caught on the shrimp flies. Overall, we had a pretty good trip, and we were able to bring a bunch of fish and fillets back home. On the way back, Google Maps showed this tree of life, and we decided to stop by, check it out. It's just this tree hanging on the side of the cliff, and you could walk under the root system like this. It was pretty neat. When walking under it, you definitely get the idea that this thing's gonna fall one of these days just from the waves hitting on the land and washing away the dirt from under it. So it was cool to enjoy it while it's still here. Thanks for hanging out till the end, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.